Okay, on to the development now. You can see that we've got a starting point for the development, which is A, which is like the top of the canopy. So it should be like right in the middle there. So A sort of flows down there, so it's at the kind of peak of it, and you can see that it's there as well. So normally, if there was space, you would do the development projected from the elevation, but obviously there's not space on here. So what you have to kind of appreciate is that there's A there. So if you can imagine that sort of rotated round, because it's obviously on the horizontal there. So that's quite significant. Anyway, to build this up, what we're going to do is we're just going to have a starting point here, and simply we're going to project, or not project, but just have a starting line which we'll draw. I'm just sharpening my pencil. We'll draw from around about here. Okay, and that's just a starting point. So if you can imagine, that's basically that point right there is right there. Okay. Right, to help us do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line down at basically at right angles to this line here, up to there. Okay, and the reason for that is that's going to help me to work out what this part looks like on the development. So bear with me and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I need to use my 3060 set square. I'm just going to project down here to that line there, and that's my starting point there, which we've labelled A, and then I'm going to just step off these points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on either side of A, because that's a sort of working our way around the curve. Now remember, a development is this whole canopy opened out, so just going to step this off. I can take it from either the plan or from the auxiliary plan. I'm just going to take it from the plan because it's easier. So measure to 1, mark a point, just turn it over, mark a point. So that's 1, 1, 1, like that, nice and clear there. And then measure again from the same point, because that sort of ensures consistency, to 2, turn it over to 2, again just label that up, so that's 2 and 2, so I've got these points here and here, and then to 3, mark a point there, mark a point there. So that's 3 and 3, and then to 4, and then finally 4 and 4, and then finally to 5. So that's up to there and down to there. Okay. 5 and 5. Right, I'm just going to extend each of these lines out. Build up a sort of grid, and again, just a reminder that on your work this should be nice and light, nothing too heavy there at all. Extend each of these lines out. I suspect this is going to have to be a wee bit longer, so just extend that a bit more. Okay, so we've got our grid structure now. Okay, what we're going to do first of all is we're going to find where the curve on this bit is because there's basically going to be two curves. There's going to be a curve like that, which is the top of it, and then there's going to be a kind of bit of a curve here, but more of a kind of diagonal sort of arrow shape here. So just clearing some of this stuff away. So first of all, just a reminder, there's A, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I need to measure how far it is away from A for 1. It's a very small gap there, right? Tiny, tiny. So I may even just measure it with my set square because my compass can't go small enough. So I'll measure that and I get 2 millimeters. So measure, mark 2 millimeters in from here, here and here. And then let's measure this here, so 4 millimeters. Now you might find that you're out a wee bit, okay, there is a tolerance on this. It's usually 1 millimeter for lines, and it can actually be up to 3 millimeters for the height of this, which is just because of the error that can be sort of multiplied. So I'm going to measure the distance away for 3, mark that on. Mark that on, and for 4, measure, mark it on, measure and mark it, and then finally 5, measure and mark it. So that's what's got the points now for the top curve. So what you'd be expected to do here is draw a fair curve through those points, which is what I'm trying to do just now, quite quickly. There's my fair curve there, through the points. I should probably take a bit more time over that because it's a bit ropey, but never mind. And then from each of these points, which is essentially these points here, I'm going to measure, so for A, I'm going to measure from A to the end of the canopy, so that's from there to there. Then for 1, I measure from there down to there. You just see what I'm doing there. I'm just going to zoom in a wee bit just so you can see just what I'm actually measuring there. Okay. So it's right actually in at that point, not that line there, that point there. Right down to the end, and it'll be the same for 2, we measure from there, for 3 from there, for 4 from there. Okay, so I'll just zoom back out again for that. That's in, that's always going to happen. Okay, so that's us. So, measuring for 1, from there to there, and we mark that from there to there, from there to there. For 2, from there to there, from there to there. For 3, from 4, it's quite far out, actually misses my line, so I'm going to do an arc there so that I know where it is. And finally 5, just slightly more, it's coming to there, and to there. Okay, so I need to extend these lines to meet these points, so that's to there. If you do a wee arc, then it's fine. If you do a point, then it's not. If it doesn't, the line doesn't meet it, then it's wrong. So another curve, although a very straight line almost, curves away towards the end like that. Okay, and then just line that in there. There, if you were to cut that out, that should give you a pretty good representation of what the actual canopy itself looks like. Okay, so that's your new I10 done. I10, remember?